As I was finishing my tour of the Vicksburg National Military Park, I stopped at Fort Hill, which is one of the highest points in the park. Looking to the west, I get a good look at the Yazoo and Mississippi rivers, which are flooding. They're expected to crest later in the week at about 50 feet, which is well above flood stage. Also visible on the west bank is a large oil refinery that looks like it is completely surrounded by water. And below, under the white tent, is the USS Cairo exhibit, which is located next to the Vicksburg National Cemetery. The final stop on my visit to the Vicksburg National Military Park was at the USS Cairo Museum. Here are a small museum, gift shop, and the remains of the Union gunboat, the USS Cairo. The USS Cairo was one of the first City-class Union gunboats developed during the Civil War. In June of 1862, it captured the Confederate garrison at Fort Pillow, which allowed the Union forces to occupy the city of Memphis and control the traffic along the Mississippi River. The Cairo, like many of the ironclad gunboats that were active during the Civil War, were fitted with whatever weapons were on hand at the time, and then later on had their weapons upgraded as new pieces were made available. The Cairo had a total of 13 cannons, 4 along each side, 3 in the front, and 2 in the rear. Each cannon had to be loaded by hand. Each cannon weighed several hundred pounds, so the crew developed a large pulley system to pull the cannons back so that the crew could reload them. This system allowed the cannons to be quickly reloaded and kept the crew relatively safe. The Cairo was powered by steam, and a boat without steam could not move and was helpless if attacked. Therefore, the ironclads kept fires burning and steam pressure built up even when they were anchored for hours on end. Crewmen shoveled coal as much as a ton an hour into the firebox so that the vessel could move at a moment's notice. On December 12, 1862, while clearing mines for the attack at Haynes Bluff, the Cairo was sunk to the bottom of the Yazoo River. She became the first vessel to be sunk by a mine that was remotely detonated by hand. At the rear of the ship was two wooden rudders, which were used to steer the ship. Wood was used for the rudders because they could be quickly repaired or replaced by the ship's carpenter. For almost 100 years after she was sunk in 1862, the Cairo lay at the bottom of the river and was covered by mud and sand. In 1956, the old ship was found, and in 1960, a number of artifacts were recovered, including an 8-inch cannon, which is on display in the Cairo Museum. Attempts to raise the entire ship failed, and she was cut into 3 pieces and eventually brought to the surface. Artifacts were recovered, and the ship was cleaned and reassembled. In June of 1977, the National Park Service accepted the restored ship for display here at the Vicksburg National Military Park. And the USS Cairo was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1971.